Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We've got some time with somebody's been on the show a number of times. Her name is Dr. Sherry Torkos. She is a registered pharmacist. She has a bachelor's degree in pharmacy and an R.Ph. Isn't an R.Ph. equivalent to a doctor, Sherry?
Hey there, Mark. Yes, so I'm a pharmacist, not a doctor, but I have the R.Ph. stands for registered pharmacist.
Right.
It's a bachelor's degree. Yeah.
That's okay. So it's not equivalent to our registered pharmacist is not equal to a doctor of pharmacy. That's different.
That's different. Actually, they were introducing the doctor of pharmacy program just when I was finishing school.
Well, that's because you're so old, I guess.
I've been practicing quite a few years.
Yeah.
But at my school, they were just introducing that program as I was leaving. But I'm happy to have my registered pharmacy degree and been practicing now for over 25 years.
Oh my goodness, you look far too young to have done that. And tell me now that your son is over 10.
Well, he just turned 9 actually.
Okay,
in June.
You're too young to have a 9-year-old.
Well, yeah, I had my little guy later in life, but he turns 9 this summer, and today was the first day of back to school, and so he was, why does summer have to go so fast?
I know, it does. And wait till he gets to be your age, and it'll go even faster. Have you noticed that? The older you get, the faster it goes.
Yes,
right?
With each decade of life, it's faster and faster, that's for sure.
I don't understand that, but oh well, maybe I'm not supposed to. We're going to talk about when to call the doctor when your child is sick. And frankly, it doesn't even have to be your kid. I mean, with school starting this week, last week, throughout the U.S., Canada, probably Mexico as well, in the parent sees the kid not feeling well. Do you just give the kid Tylenol? Do you take his temperature? Do you ice him down? Do you call the doctor? So when is the best time to call the doctor, or can you call your local pharmacist for questions?
Yeah, and this is the question. It really depends on what you're faced with. And I know as a new parent myself several years ago, it can be a little nerve-wracking when your child is sick with a fever or they're vomiting or diarrhea. And we're going to talk about these issues today because in some cases you're better off to keep the child home with minor ailments or things that you can do either within your house or maybe get a few remedies in the pharmacy to speed healing and get your child feeling better. The challenge is when you take off to the doctor's office, the emergency clinic, the medical clinic, and you're waiting in that area, the waiting room, where there's lots of bugs circulating. Sometimes, that can have a negative impact on an otherwise, child who's already not feeling so well. So this time of year, I do get a lot of questions from parents. They come into the pharmacy. My child is sick. We're gonna start off with a common issue, fever. Okay, so at what point should you treat a fever? So fever, you have to keep in mind when it comes to, say, a fever, that's your body's way of fighting an infection. And this time of year, we're getting a lot of viruses that go around, colds and flus. They both can cause fever. With a cold, you get a lower grade fever. With a flu, it tends to be a little bit higher. And it can be scary, but most of these fevers are self-limiting. They go away in a couple of days. You can apply cool compresses. We never put the child in the ice bath because although it would sound, that makes sense if the child is really hot, maybe you should put them in a really cool bath, but that can be too shocking to the system, and it can actually cause them to start shivering, and that can raise their core temperature. So you actually just want to put cool compresses on their forehead, maybe a little bit of acetaminophen or ibuprofen for comfort, and then lots of fluids to prevent dehydration. The point where you'd want to go see the doctor would be if the fever is very high, so a fever above 104 degrees Fahrenheit, if it lasts longer than a couple of days, or if the child also is complaining about ear pain or neck pain, or they have vomiting and diarrhea, seizures along with the fever, then definitely get your child to the doctor.
And I maybe I'm just, a nervous Nelly, I'm not sure. But if our kids had fevers of over 102 for a day, I would call the doc.
And that's okay. I mean, every parent's going to have a different comfort level. I recall the first time my son had a fever when we were away, and it went from 100, 101, 102. Then it was almost up to 103. We did the cool compresses, a little bit of medication brought it down. But not all fevers need to be treated. And again, you have to think that fever is how the body is fighting an infection. And same with diarrhea. Common issue for kids. Would you believe it that the average healthy child will get 15 episodes of diarrhea before they even turn 5 years old? So very common situation. It's unpleasant. It's unpleasant for the child, but for the whole family. But like fever, diarrhea and vomiting as well can be signs that the body is fighting a bug, and so it reacts by what it can do, and raise core temperature. Also with the diarrhea or vomiting, the body's trying to eliminate and flush out the foreign invaders. So
don't you need, when somebody is adult or a child has diarrhea prolonged for a day or two, don't you need to have them have fluids so that they don't dehydrate?
Yes. Exactly. One of the biggest risks with diarrhea and vomiting is dehydration, and that can set in pretty quickly, even with the little ones. So you want to encourage them to drink lots of fluids. And when you have vomiting or diarrhea, an oral electrolyte solution, such as like a Pedialyte or an equivalent product, that can be given. It gives the proper balance of sugar, salt, water to prevent dehydration. You don't want to give your kids juice or sugary drinks like soda. Even ginger ale. People, when I was growing up, my grandmother would give me a little ginger ale, but today ginger ale actually has very little ginger in it. It's a lot of sugar, so not a good idea.
Trader Joe's has one. It's still got the sugar, but boy, has it got ginger in it.
Yeah, it's a little nippy, right?
Yeah, it's zippy, but it does calm your stomach.
Yeah, and if the child's vomiting, also you would just give them some fluids when they can keep it down, but you don't want to force them to eat or push food on them if they're still vomiting, right? You want to let their tummy settle, then they can have a little bit of crackers or dry toast, rice, bananas, things like that. But there are some remedies too. Like if you're in the pharmacy, there is a really good remedy for diarrhea that can actually be given to children as young as 1 year of age, and it's called Diarescu. It's Diaresq, and I did some consulting work with the company that came out with this product, Pantherix. And as a pharmacist, I was pretty excited to see the research behind it. It's actually been shown to relieve pediatric diarrhea in as fast as 1 day. So that's good news for the parents, good news for the child. And the Diarescu, it's not a drug. It's actually a food for special dietary use, and it works with the body's own systems. It really helps your body to recover quite quickly. It has nutrients and immune factors that just helps restore normal intestinal function. So it's basically helping the body get better quicker. And you'll find that it's sold in pharmacies. So if you're Walgreens or CVS, you'll find it in the digestive products section.
Got
so
it.
You pick that up, get some Pedialyte, let your child rest. Now, here's where you need to see the doctor. If there's blood in the vomiting or diarrhea, if the symptoms are more severe, it's not getting better in like 24 to 48 hours, then you need to see the doctor.
Let me ask you the biggest question, when should I call the doctor? You know that your kid has a test that day. Mom, Dad, I don't feel good. My tummy hurts. I'm being really serious with you.
It is tough when your child is saying that they have a tummy ache, yet they have an exam or some type of event at school that day, a big thing maybe they're trying to avoid. But as a parent, you have to, trust your instincts. You know your child best. Do they typically, complain of symptoms like that when they're trying to avoid something? I mean, there's some little things that you can do at home to really check out, if they are sick. If your child has a tummy ache, they likely will not be hungry. So if they have a really good appetite, that may be a sign that maybe they're really not that sick. If there's a fever, if the child is tired and lethargic and says they have a tummy ache, then maybe there really is a tummy ache and they're not just trying to avoid that test.
It's a very common issue. I know, because I've talked to other moms and dads about it, and if it's consistent, you know that there's a problem. The kid just doesn't want to go to school. Like your son this morning. He didn't want to start school. I mean,
That's
summer,
right? Well, if he told me his tummy hurt, I'd say, he had what he calls just back-to-school depression because he had so much fun this summer. But, there are some, real things that happen to kids, and we want our kids to know that we do trust what they're saying and that we take their health seriously. So, when they have the fever, you can obviously monitor that by taking their temperature if they're tired, lethargic. We talked about diarrhea, vomiting. Those are obvious symptoms that need to be addressed, and thankfully there are things that you can get in the pharmacy to get them better quicker. The DiaRescue that I mentioned can help in as little as 1 day.
Can that be used for adults as well?
It can, yes. They have both a pediatric and an adult formula. So you would, it's a powder packet, and you just open it up, you mix it with water. It comes with a cup, and it's gluten-free and soy-free and easy to use. So if you are in the pharmacy section where you see the digestive relief products, that's where you'll find it, and you don't need a prescription.
It seems to me that
it's not a drug.
It seems to me that Terry Torkos has seen the white light and is coming over to the natural side.
But most definitely, I'm really one to advocate for using natural as much as possible, and drugs as the last resort. You only go to them when you absolutely need them. I think there are a lot of things that we can manage with nutritional strategies. In the DiaRescue, given that it's not a drug, it's actually a food. It's like a medical food for special dietary use. So it really is unique because it does contain some nutrients that help and work with the body to restore the intestinal function. And
once I don't mind
cough or cold.
I'm sorry, we're running out of time. I've been changing diapers lately, and I don't care what it is in there. But if it's once they're on solid food and that the poop changes, I hand them over to mom or somebody else because I can handle anything but that. Sherry, thank you very much. We'll have a picture of Sherry and a link to her website and her many books on our website, Late Night Health. Join us at latenighthealth.com. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Coming up next, Robert Clancy, as we talk about trust. Don't go away. There's a lot of talk all over the internet about the remarkable benefits of Carbon-60, and baby boomers are especially excited about it. Greska's Carbon-60 is the premium Carbon-60, developed by an aerospace and NASA scientist. 95% of Greska's customers report positive results from this Nobel Prize-winning technology in just 4 days. Imagine more energy, better health, and more vitality. It's very bioavailable to quickly mend toxin-crippled cells. This is a super powerful antioxidant. Bob Greska is so confident that you'll love his Carbon-60, he wants to send you a bottle at 50% off the regular price to see how life-changing this will be for you. Call 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. Visit C-60.com to learn more. Call 720-600-6040 now or visit C-60.com.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews for the latest from the greatest have been captured on audiobook. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Daryl Wayne, Darrell Wayne.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne, aren't you?
The show continues in a moment.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.